Blog Talk Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to
What's up? What's going on? What's good? This is the November 22nd, 2020 episode of the Boxing Source Radio Show. I am your host, James Bell, the leader of the Boxing Source here on social media. You can follow us on Facebook through the Boxing Source. Yes, we have a page and we do have a group on Facebook. You're also on Instagram through the Boxing Source. We also can be followed on Twitter at Boxing Source 2. And we are now having this simulcast going through YouTube, so you could participate on YouTube. Shout out to MMA Champ that is currently joining us on YouTube. Number to dial in is 347-237-5539. That's 347-237-5539. Scheduled at around 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time, we will have Coach Brian BoMac McIntyre with us here to talk about various topics. Of course, we know what went down last Saturday with Terrence Crawford in his stoppage win over Kell Brook. We're going to be talking about that and more, including what's been going down over in Omaha, Nebraska with his boxing academy, and also with other fighters that is, under his stable, like so-called Steven Nelson. You also have Mr. Jamel Herring, who, was recently, celebrating getting a new house and that type of stuff. But we're going to be, talking about a lot of topics going down, there with Coach BoMac. So that will be definitely good. We do have coming up next week the fight that's going to be on Triller, and that will be Tyson versus Jones. Remember that was supposed to be scheduled for September, but they, pushed it back so that more people could be interested in it. I had not, received any information about if, fans could attend that event. Nothing really on that. But hopefully I can get that news within the next couple of days, how they're going to work that out. Of course, you have the fight card that includes Tyson versus Jones. Of course, you have, like Nate Robinson there against, was it Jake Paul and whatnot. And, a few other fights that are part of that presentation. So we're going to be, getting into that here a little bit. Wanted to get in one of our panelists here, joining us early from the 205 area code. What's going on, y'all? You're joining us here on the Boxing Source Radio Show. Doing good there, Brother Mike. Doing good. Just waiting for our special guest to come in. I know that we got, that Tyson Jones fight card next weekend. And also in 2 weeks, you have Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia. You did have like Errol Spence, pretty much like had Errol Spence do like his workout a few days ago, and I think Danny Garcia is going to be doing his. I think it's tomorrow. So that's basically the gist of what's been going on over the past couple of weeks, man, and just waiting for BoMac to come in in about 10 minutes from now.
Yeah. Seemed like in the Tyson Jones fight, they kind of setting up the scene for Tyson to win, and I don't think you. I don't know. I would say let's wait and see, but from everything that I'm seeing, from the 2-minute rounds to even just the clips of them like preparing. Does Roy Jones have enough legs to like move, even if it is just 2 minutes? Because when I see him hit the mitts and stuff, it looks like it hurts him to move from his knees, which I get it. He's an athlete, could dunk, do 360s, do all that stuff, Floatable. But it looks like his knees, Father Time is undefeated, man. So, yeah, obviously Mike Tyson's old, but just seeing him hit the mitts and, is Roy Jones' ability to box and move and keep somebody off of him, does he have that ability, like without the special stuff? That would be my question. Maybe they get somebody that's older, maybe he does have that ability, but power, they said the last thing to go. And the way Tyson was hitting the mitts seemed like it hurt somebody's hand, so.
Yeah. Because he be going all in with them punches, man. He be going all in with those punches to the mitts and to the the body backs and stuff like that. But I'll see like how that turns out with that, and the way that they kind of like push this event, it's almost like more of like a spectacle, more than anything else. I mean, you have the thing with the fights like Badu Jack against his, Blake McKernan, and like I said, Jake Paul against Nate Robinson, and you had like Vidal Riley against Rashad Coulter, but they also want to have like some musical performances in there as well. So that's kind of like what we got going on with this type of thing with Legends Only League. Debuting with this Tyson versus Jones on November 28th. We got another caller in here from the 813 area code checking in. What's going on with you? I don't know, man. Looks like you were ready yesterday, man. From what I heard.
Yeah, man. I've never been to a more stranger party. We got no music playing outside.
Yep.
Solid headphones and 3 different channels and groups of people partying in their own little world, singing their own songs, dancing to what seems like nothing when you listen to the music. And it was just weird. It's no vibe. It's just weird. But I wouldn't mind them want to get to when everyone's on the same vibe. That'd be better, much better.
Yeah, but that's the thing about those headphone parties. Like you're not gonna have every single person on there on the same channel. So you'll have about could have up to half of people on one channel, about another third be on another channel, and whatnot. So they'll be on whole different beat patterns and stuff like that. But I mean, glad that turnout was pretty good on that instance, man. But yeah, just get it in here. Really wasn't that much action, the other day. So that's why I'm like, looking forward to, Coach BoMac calling in here. And, that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah, I told you Roy Jones Jr. and Mr. Mike Tyson. And I think the thought thread that we can focus on is when you have an older fighter, how much do their skills deteriorate, right? And we already know with Tyson, what Tyson was not a physically damaged fighter on his way out, he's more mentally damaged than anything, just from all the trials and tribulations he has been through, where he put himself through that, where infected by his promoter, Don King, and just on top of his mental issues on top of that really led to his downfall as a primetime boxer. Because I don't know about you guys, but when Tyson fought Lennox Lewis, that really hurt my heart. But that was a matchup that we really wanted in the prime for both. And Tyson was not hurt like that, but his mind wasn't there. Right. And imagine if we could have had a Lennox Lewis fight versus Tyson amidst all the Evander Holyfields and Rick Cole fights within that era. And I think that the result very likely would have been different if Tyson's mind was in the right place in fighting Lennox Lewis at that point. But Lennox Lewis, what he got to do, he got in there, had Tyson in front of him, and just cooked him and served him up and knocked him out.
Yeah.
But that fight really hurt me. But when we look at a series of fighters that has fought in their older years, Bernard Hopkins, we already know John Smith, we put him out of the war finally. Because for Hopkins, we already know he's an executioner. So his skill set was just making fights dirty, things like that, getting into the mind of his opponent and so on. But here comes a young fighter, Smith, was able to withstand all that and retire at that point. Even Floyd Mayweather Jr. Skill sets have deteriorated to a degree.
Yeah.
Mayweather can still, he's a rare breed. He still can beat people today. We know that. But once again, and looking at Roy Jones Jr., still for me one of the powerful best fighters definitely of this era, of this generation. We already know this guy had it all: speed, jab, can fight with either hand, fight going backwards, can fight from all angles. But we already know that Roy Jones Jr. kept fighting well past his prime, and we know that whether we witness that speed started to go away, those reflexes started to go away from that point. And at that point, it just eroded his skill set to what he knows today. But the thing about it, as we already know, with all these people that we mentioned, despite them fighting on in their later years, when they think, I think I'm still that guy. I still got those skills, right? And that's what we kind of look forward to this right here in this interesting. I kind of find it hard to call a boxing match, more or less a celebrity event per se,
right?
Or allegedly that's been labeled, but you already know that. And Roy Jones Jr. mind, he always hit. I still can duck and dive. I still can move like I need to and get away and take away my opponent's power hand. Well, I mean, you think that, but when I get my ace, I know there's certain things I can't do anymore, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's going to take a couple of mean shots for me to, I need to hang this up and stuff, at least these young boys. And I think that's what Tyson's going to serve them. Now, granted, we haven't seen Tyson in an actual fight in years, literally years, but we've seen his training videos, and he looks phenomenal. And at the same time, for him, like we mentioned before, his mind space, where's his mind at? Tyson has been through quite a bit in his life. He has finally settled into life and lived life happily, right? So that's it. His mind space is totally restored at this point. So, I mean, long story short, Tyson's gonna knock his ass out.
Yeah, pretty much. That's basically it right there. That just sums it all up. Tyson's gonna knock him out, stop him, man. That type of thing. Before I get my guests in here, I got like two more calls in here. First off, from the 267 area code, Should be from the Philadelphia. What's going on?
What's good?
Yeah, chilling, man, chilling.
What's the topic?
Well, I mean, I was gonna, go into this thing for next week, Tyson versus Jones here before our guest comes in. So that's what we've been talking about.
They're not scoring yet. It's 8 rounds. I mean, it might as well be wrestling.
Oh.
It was a fight that we all wanted to see at one time just because of the names, and could Roy beat a real legit heavyweight? But like this, it might as well be The Rock versus Goldberg now. Stain for Triple H. It's 10, 15 years too late. Am I right? When Stain fought Triple H at the WrestleMania a couple years back.
Oh yeah.
Bro, Stain had a ball spot. Come on. I mean, Crow, long hair, full body, Z05 Stain. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Either that or Sting when he just turned Crow. You know what I mean? When he was beating up Buff Bagwell and Scott Norton and
that's a prime Sting.
and Scott Steiner and the Macho Man. Yeah, that's the Sting rule.
Versus the whole entire NWO.
Yeah,
that's the ruling y'all must have forgot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But yeah, we ain't getting that. We ain't getting it on this instance, man. Yeah, man.
They just gonna announce a winner. They're allowing people to smoke weed. Like they're doing drug testing, but not for weed because Mike smoked down.
Yeah. I don't know, man, but speaking of wrestling, there's another caller on here that's probably watching some type of event that's going on right now, but is listening in here from the 646 area code. The supposed president of the Deontay Wilder fan club, Mr. Matthew Brown. What's up?
First of all, Sting versus Triple H at WrestleMania was an excellent match, by the way. So I would like to take the note to task for even bringing that up. That was a great match that included the NWO versus D-Generation Next. It was an amazing WrestleMania, one of the best WrestleManias of all time. WrestleMania 31, baby. So if we have Tyson versus Jones end up like Sting versus Triple H, then that would make it a great event. But
so you don't think it means is Lester watching the NWO come down with gray hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Shawn Michaels. Yeah, right. Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, right.
Oh man.
Coming back.
At the end of the day, the names are still the names, and people will pay through the names. So there are going to be people that will pay to see Tyson versus Jones, but I won't be one of them. Why? Because
oh my God!
I don't want to see Mike Tyson on my TV screen. I don't like Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is a traitor to the United States of America.
Oh,
he's the British prostitute, Mike Tyson.
Oh, wow.
He's no longer American. All he does is suck off British fighters. And he figures, oh, the British fighters are great. Oh, they're so tough. Oh, they're this, oh, they're that. But he never uplifted the American heavyweights. So fuck Mike Tyson.
Well, damn.
Yeah.
But he's from Brooklyn though.
Nah, not from Brooklyn. He's from Liverpool or Lancashire. He's from one of those British.
He sound like a Gucci when he was singing this song to Jeezy, you know?
That's probably the biggest fight that we saw all week.
And I ain't even watch it.
But let's talk about stuff that really matters, though. Let's talk about the Deontay Wilder. Okay. Enough about these has-beens. Okay. Let's talk about the greatest American heavyweight since Ali.
Oh, come on. Stop it. Stop it. He said the greatest American heavyweight since Ali.
Yo, such a dumbass up, man. Who is, in your eyes, the perfect heavyweight?
Perfect.
If you had to build a heavyweight, which fighter throughout history would be comparable to the guy that you would build?
I would say Ali before they stripped him of the title.
Oh, you talking about Clay?
Yeah.
Oh, Clay is a bad mother. Ooh.
I mean, he had speed, he had power, he could move. Like who would mess with that?
What about Riddick Bowe? Riddick Bowe. How about
My man. That's my pick. If I had to Riddick Bowe.
I can see that. Riddick Bowe is the best heavyweight I've ever seen with my own eyes.
Exactly. And to me, nobody can beat Cassius Clay. So nobody in history of boxing, I don't think, can beat Cassius Clay. Cassius Clay is unbeatable in my eyes, but there was a lot of things he didn't do technically. It was like his ability was his skill, but there was a lot of deficiencies that his athleticism made up for. Riddick Bowe had no weakness, top to bottom, nothing.
He does have a weakness.
What?
The buffet line.
Oh, just keep him away from that, man. I mean, this shouldn't be that. Like, come on. Like, shoot. Hey, Shelly Finkel couldn't keep him away from the buffet line. That's how we lost him. And that's how he ended up signing with, So, I mean, if Finkel didn't keep him away, then he probably would have, kept him. And he wouldn't have been with Rock Newman. I mean?
Yeah, but what do you think is going to happen with Wilder and Fury this week? Because judging by the timeline, we know they went to arbitration sometime between November 12th and November 13th. We know that Frank Warren said that within the next week or so, a decision by the judge will be made. Well, it's been a week, so now we're in the or so portion. So what do you guys think is going to happen? Will the arbiter rule that Fury has to fight Wilder next?
Where's Disney in all of this is what I'm asking. Because they're the ones, to me, that pretty much say, hey, like, this is how much money, is in this third fight. So y'all got to figure out a way to do something to make this third fight happen. Because, we want to make money off this, too. And it's like, neither fighter is going to make anywhere near that amount of money fighting anybody else but Joshua. So, hey, y'all going to have to do this fight one way or another.
That's what we're headed towards. Because, listen, like I said, when they claimed that ESPN was somehow going to pay Tyson Fury, you think they're going to pay him $20 million to fight Ajit Kabayel in the middle of the afternoon? I don't think so. So I knew that fight wasn't happening.
They were going to work. They could have worked the Canelo deal like when Canelo fought Rocky Fielding.
And Bob Eric talking about he losing money. So yeah, that don't sound like a good idea.
Exactly.
Yeah, he said he's losing money. So hey, he wasn't in the business of losing money. He says, well, but speaking of that, he didn't really. he didn't say that about Tyson Fury. But you know, either way, right now, we got to get this thing jumping off. We got a special guest on the line right now. You know, coming from Omaha, Nebraska. You know him, I know him. He's a world-renowned coach, head of the B&B Boxing Academy, Mr. Ryan BoMac McIntyre. What's going on, Coach?
What's going on, y'all? How you doing?
Oh, we're doing all good over here. Doing all good, man. What's going on with you? Oh, man, I ain't even, man. I saw that play, man. That defensive play, I was like, oh, man.
Yeah, but that's it. Just resting up, man. You ready for a new week in the gym?
True that, man. You know, you're out there with that B&B Boxing Academy. You know, you co-founded that with Bud Crawford. How long have you had that boxing academy?
I'd say since about 2013 we started. 2013, yeah.
Yeah, so you've had your guys in there, but you know you've also been doing a good number of programs in that boxing academy, like youth programs, correct?
Yeah, we do big tutoring. We got a tutoring class. We got wrestling on the other side where the boxing used to be. And the boxing moved over to the other side of the building. And we took the boxing and put it on the bigger side, made the gym bigger, put 2 rings in there, a lot of weight equipment, a lot of, exercise equipment, treadmills, lifters, bikes, and then we took the old side. The old side was like a 40 by 60 garage. We insulated it, and threw some walls up, some wrap mats on the floor, and the guy that's in there called Ray RP, he came in and put his twist on it, and he's kind of been around for probably 30, 40 years, and a lot of the wrestlers come out of Omaha went through his program. He's a little break off of an old program called Emerson Wrestling, and he came through that program, and he's a little bit my age, maybe a little bit older, but he got multiple champions, national champions, world champions in wrestling, NCAA, national champions. Matter of fact, you got one guy that's is #1 in the world that came through his program, Jordan Spears, I believe. We're good friends with parents. This is a phenomenal program that he got going over there, and it's an honor for him and for us to link up together to help our community, have something for our community, for the kids, and for the adults. I charge nobody to come in there. You can come in there. You got a negative COVID test. You gotta wear a mask. You can work out. You can jump on the bags, and it's there for the community.
Yeah, and you've had like a lot of kids and adults come through there, and some of the fighters also come in to help out with you and the other trainers that are part of the B&B Boxing Academy. You might have Steven Nelson in there for a little bit, Bud in there for a little bit with them. You and a few others. And it helps build character there for the young children that come in, and we've had like a few success stories come out of that are part of the website that you got up for the academy, bnbacademy.org. So folks can go on that website, check it out. You'll be able to see the success stories coming from at least a few people that have been part of that B&B Boxing Academy. But you'll want to get into this thing a little bit. Of course, you had the previous week there. Your guy Bud Crawford taking care of business against Kell Brook. I was able to take him out within 4 rounds. and had a very impressive performance there, turning it on when he needed to turn it on against Kell Brook.
Yeah, man. We're going off scenarios of the fight that what might take place if it was orthodox, if it was southpaw. What we need to do to get the job done, and you feel it when he's in there. He don't feel it if you need to switch or switch to southpaw for you to stay orthodox. And he's kind of felt that when he switched orthodox, when he heard him, he went back to when he switched to southpaw, then he heard him, then instantly went back to orthodox. So it's still touch and go with it's kind of when he switched it up. But we got the job done like we're supposed to.
Yeah, true. You had Bud there. He was able to hit him with the lead right hand, and then once he hit Brook with that lead right hand, that was pretty much the beginning of the end there for Kell Brook, and Crawford was able to score that knockout, stay unbeaten, and now he looks ahead here to 2021, and I know that we had like a couple of comments that happened after that particular fight. From a business perspective, that really got a lot of feedback from various people within the boxing game and within the camp of Terrence Bud Crawford, including yourself. And it's in reference to what Bob Arum was saying after the fight and after the TVs went out and the lights went out at MGM. And I just kind of felt like that was really a bad move by Bob Arum by saying that, because you don't say that about your own fighters. You're a promoter, you have a job to do. Your job is to promote your fighter so that people are going to see your fighter fight. And you don't make comments like that if Crawford's supposed to be your number one guy. Initially, what were your reactions to what Bob Arum said pretty much after the fight, as far as like the business aspect of it?
My reaction was like, that don't surprise me what Bob said, because he said other stuff that that didn't make the headlines. Or some people have told me what he said, and it's just being around him for like the last 10 years, man. You get to understand a man's character, and that's just part of his character. He's an older gentleman, and he's been through a lot, and seen a lot of different fighters and promoted a lot of different fighters. And so some of the things that he say, he feel like he got the right to say. We might not agree upon it, or don't take it lightly about things that he say, but he 86, 87 years old, so he feels like he got the right to say anything. Once you get that age, you probably do. Do you feel like it's wrong? Probably not. Because of what he's done in the sport, what he has done for the sport, and so. And then just him Bob just being Bob, just saying it doesn't surprise me. Do I like it? No, hell no, I don't like it. But that's Bob for you. It don't surprise me. He pretty much just probably just showing his true colors.
I mean, I've listened to Bob Arum in the past, and there's certain instances where he kind of talks about fighters in that similar form as far as like, business is concerned. But like I was saying before, I'm like, you're a promoter. You're supposed to make the most out of the fighter that, that is there. And they sign with you for you to do your job. And by saying stuff like that, you're not really doing your job. You're actually, going against what you're supposed to do. Like I've kind of, talked about a previous example, when he had Guillermo Rigondeaux. And this was like right after Guillermo Rigondeaux defeated Nonito Donaire. And he pretty much said pretty much the same thing about Guillermo Rigondeaux. And that really kind of nullified the potential that Guillermo Rigondeaux had as a fighter from a marketability standpoint. And you also did have, actually a few days ago, another fighter there, former world champ Sean Porter, kind of chime in on it and say that, what Bob Arum said, you don't say that, out in public. That's, something that you keep under wraps. You don't say that out in public. And, by doing that, you kind of hurt not only you're hurting your fighter, you're hurting your business. So, yeah, I just felt like that was wrong. And, immediately after that was going down, I almost started a hashtag free Bud Crawford movement or something like that. So, I mean, I don't know how that's going to, materialize, but look, hey.
Somebody already. I seen it a couple of days ago. Hashtag free Bud Crawford.
Yeah, man, free. Yeah, man, free Bud Crawford, man. Free Bud Crawford.
When you look at it, you can look at it two different points of view. At the end of the day, it is business. Terrence did sign a contract with the company, and they obligated to, make these things happen. Mm-hmm. And and we're going to get down to it. I'll sit down with Bob, me and Terrence, and the lawyers. We'll all sit down and we'll hash it out like men, and like we're supposed to, adults, and not let feelings get in the way, and just continue to thrive the business aspect for Terrence's career. So we can do it that way, or we just got to just sit back and say, or just listen to what Top-Rank has to say, and how they feel, and and what steps they want to take moving forward. And and I will say this: Bob has done a lot in Top-Rank, and Carl Moretti and Brad Goodman and Bruce Trampler. They have done a good job with Terrence's career, because we got over there, he was like 11-0. Now the man's 37-0 with 28 knockouts. So, and he's, fighter of the year, BWAA fighter of the year, SP winner from ESPN. Numerous amount of, fighter of the years from different organizations. And so, I took my hat to that company and those guys over there that, led his career, and kind of let me pick some of those opponents, and what opponents that, I wanted to see Terrence in there with, and then you got to a point to where, you top or echelon of the weight division, or whatever weight you are, mm-hmm. So you got to fight those guys. But, leading up to that point, you want to develop your fighter, develop his mind, develop his skills, because, not everybody can come out of the amateurs and your second fight, or your first fight, your third fight, and fight for a world title. A lot of guys of our color or our statues don't get that opportunity. So we have to, like the youngsters say now, we had to get it from the mother. We had to, start from the bottom. When they say, well, now we're here, it's a long journey, and you got to be patient with the fighter. You got to be patient with the company. You have to be patient with, the matchmakers, and you got to be patient with, the process. And so, again, I gotta, and you got to trust the process too, and not only does the fighter grow, it's a team around Terrence, and and I make sure all of that everybody plays their own part, stay in their own lane, and even myself, I will not step in the lane of the nutritionist. That's her job. That's what we hired for, and even though I'm a chef, I'm not going to rush to judge her or tell her she ain't doing this right because, she's a nutritionist for a reason.
Yeah.
And that's why we trust her. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, as a trainer, as a manager, you grow too. You grow and you watch a fire grow. And not only you guys grow together, but the journey is exciting, man. It's exciting. And then once we get to a point to where we at now, it's not about the promoter, it's about the trainer. And when you still go to that table, it's still about the fighter. Because we all work together to get into that point. And everybody played their part and it's fault and we all made sacrifices. All of us, not just one person, not just the promoter, not just the networks. We all made sacrifices for that fighter to get to where he wanted to get or he needed to get, or we wanted him to get to being called the best fighter in the world, pound for pound. So it's a journey and it's a team effort. And we'll continue to be a team effort.
Word. Gotcha there, Coach BoMac. Gotcha. Like you said, man, trust the process, as the saying goes. You got like a good number of callers in here. I want to see if they have some questions for you. But first, I'm gonna see if I can start from the 646 area code. If you have a question for Coach BoMac here.
Yeah, Coach BoMac. I'm just curious. So we're talking about the promotion or lack thereof of Terrence Crawford. How much of that do you blame on Crawford? How much of that do you blame on yourself? How much of that do you blame on ESPN or Top Rank? Because every time Terrence Crawford fights, the only thing I hear about is the PBC matchups that he can't get. You don't hear about the matchup that he's fighting. Oh, this is a great matchup. This is why you should watch this Terrence Crawford fight. All we hear about is the fights that he can't get. When I see PBC welterweights fighting, I always see them focusing on the matchup at hand. I don't hear them talking about Terrence Crawford. And it makes me, as a fan, want to watch that fight. Every time I see a Terrence Crawford fight, it seems like, I'm not saying you because you're not the network, but it seems like the network is trying to talk me out of watching Terrence Crawford. Here's why you shouldn't watch Terrence Crawford right now. You should wait till he fights one of these PBC guys. Like, what kind of say do you have in the actual promotion and the stuff that gets put out there during these run-ups to the Terrence Crawford fight?
Yeah, well, hold on real quick. As I think the thing got cut here a bit. So let me see if I can get him back on.
7, 1, 8,
I think
5, 9, 6. Sorry.
Yeah, I think he got cut.
Don't stop me, son.
Nah, I don't think that was it. Like the thing going, that joint was going straight to voicemail, man. It was going straight to voicemail on that joint. So I hope he might have to charge the phone, man. He might have to charge the phone. Come on, man. You gotta charge the phone, kid. 510. You was on listening in on the show, man. 510. What's the name? Where you calling from, yo? Yo, BoMac, what's good with you, man? Yeah, you caught BoMac in there for a little bit, but looked like his phone done went out on us, man.
Oh man, I've been trying to catch BoMac for a minute. Come together and do an interview for the channel. So it's a blessing that you're able to do it and the fact that I can catch him, man. So I appreciate what you're doing on your channel and thank you for having me on and being able to give me the opportunity to get an interview with the man myself, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I'll be able to get that info in to you, man, because I got your info. So I'll be able to drop it in for you. But yeah, I'm gonna work on getting them back on here. Here in a bit. So had to see like what happened. Oh, that the thing is through the boxing sources on IG, man.
Okay, I'm gonna hit you up on Instagram. I'm gonna shoot you my number on the gram, and we can rap behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, that'll work, man. That'll work. Yeah. I tried to try to hit BoMac up direct, and yes, it was going to voicemail, man. So I guess that phone done dropped off, man. Oh man.
Hey, listen, I can't help it. I'm the Black Shakespeare. What do you want me to do? You know?
Oh, come on, man.
I'll let you stories, man. I gotta get out of here. I gotta hit the work, man.
All right, no doubt, man.
You the black what, man? Black what?
Shakespeare.
Oh, okay.
I helped Beyonce Wilder write that poem that was in his Type of Fury video.
Oh man, did you give him that line talking about Black History trivia question? Did you give him that line too?
He cut flesh from my ear and caused my ear to bleed.
That's good shit. That's good shit. Yeah. Yo. You told me to clean those too. You told me that. But you.
Hey man. Listen, we out here, we working. Martin Fury, we back.
Did you tell him about the autopsy?
Listen, man, listen. Marcellus Wilder is not exactly a wordsmith, okay?
Hey, yo, my first question, JR.
Yeah.
I went to the first because I was going dead at that 64. I mean, that's what I want to talk about.
True.
That's what I want to say. I need to know in my DMX voice what type of games being played, how's it going now?
Yeah, what type of games being played, how's it going down? The song till it's gone that I got to know now. Is you with me or what? But hey, you know who's with us? You know who's back with us? Should be back with us here. Coach BoMac, you back with us?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, feel you, man. I was like, yo, phone and went out on the kid and whatnot, man. But we had someone in here, 646 Matt, that was asked you a question. You're in reference to what is it about promotion or something, Matt? You could repeat the question if you want.
Yeah, I'll give him a quick little version. Why is it whenever Terrence Crawford fights, ESPN is trying to talk me out of watching that fight because all they want to focus on is the PBC guys that Crawford is not fighting. Whenever PBC guys are fighting, they don't mention Crawford. They're talking about, you should watch this matchup and this is why. How much of a say do you have in that? And are you okay with ESPN basically using the fight that Terrence Crawford isn't having to promote his current fighters?
Well, I don't have to say what the commentators talk about Tim and Dre and the other guy. I don't, man. We talked to him. We talked to him the night before at the fighters meeting, and they just asked them questions. And then whatever pretty much they talk about as far as what's going on with the fighter, that's something that we probably discussed in the fighters meeting. But as far as them bashing the PBC fighters, I believe they're just doing that just to promote Terrence, because Terrence is promoted, basically by ESPN, and they just trying to get his brand out there, him out there, and that's it. But when PBC get on there, I've seen many times to where they want to mention Terrence's name, or even recognize him as a champion, or even recognize him on the pound list. And like I'm sure you guys seen it, they'll put up the different champions in that weight class or the different guys in that weight class, and they won't even put up Terrence. So I think that's disrespect all the way around to that man itself, you know. But you know, they got a job to do. PBC has a job to do. Fox or whoever they may be on when they treat Terrence like that. So you know, it's tit for tat, man, with those networks, and but I don't control it. Terrence don't control it. It's mostly the commentators, mostly the directors, guys in the back in the truck, and you know, putting up these stats and all this. That's just how you know they play it out.
So you're okay with that? With them using the PBC guys that he's not fighting to promote him? You don't think it makes Terrence look bad? Because if all this stuff he's not having, why should I watch his fight when all you're going to tell me is that, well, he should be fighting this guy instead? Why should I care?
Well, you know, again, man, you know, I don't care, man. I don't care what those commentators will say, you know, or you know, or how the networks they feed out to their people. My concern is making sure the Terrence is in the best shape possible and he go in there ring and do his thing, you know.
Yeah,
I got you.
I feel you. I mean, you know, my thing on that is, you know, I feel like ESPN and Top Rank got to do something in order to boost up the level of the opponents that Terrence Crawford is fighting. Because my thing is, it's like you gotta, you know, have people interested in who Terrence Crawford is fighting on top of Terrence Crawford. Like, okay, this is going to be a fight, or this is going to be something where, you know, Terrence Crawford is going to showcase all of his skills. Now, you know, they've been able to do, you know, a couple of features, you know, with Terrence Crawford. Like they had, you know, that special that was on the Sunday before the fight that was on Saturday, and they've had a couple of other things. But they also have to be able to do something in order to build up the opponents too, because the opponents had to do something in order to get to the level to fight Terrence Crawford. So how do you not, you know, pay attention to, you know, what they've been doing? Like, say, for example, with Kavaliauskas, like what Kavaliauskas has done over the course of his career. Like, how do you not build that up, you know? So I think that should have been something that Top Rank and ESPN should have done for Terrence Crawford. And that, you know, in some senses, Terrence Crawford really doesn't have to, you know, do things on his own in order to, you know, promote his fights. He just does the talking in the ring. There's been fighters over the course of history that just do their talking in the ring. Like, they don't have to talk outside the ring. So, I mean, that's, you know, kind of how I feel about it. But like I said, we'll see how this like turns out within the next, I would say, few months or so, because there is like something going on in reference to the contract, but I'll get into that a little bit later. Anyone else here have a question for Coach BoMac? All right, Terrell.
Hey, Coach, this is Lifetime fans, Lifetime. So, first of all, I admire your restraint, because you definitely work on your words eloquently. But like I said, I definitely admire your restraint. But I tell you, from a lifetime boxing fan, when I heard those words by Bob Arum, I was deeply hurt, deeply upset. With that said, we totally admire what you guys have done with Crawford. Literally came from the bottom and worked his way into a superstar, right? And we know what all the fans want. We know the top fights. We know all about that. But the thing about when we digest this, what Bob Arum said, it was hurtful, intentional, right? And the thing about it, when we look back at the history of Top Rank, the reluctance, we already know the story of the promotion reels, the reluctance to do business with PBC, things like that, and it even goes back before that. And GR, you made some great comments earlier this week, when you look at like people like when Timothy Bradley was with Top Rank, he was able to get certain fights. He got the Pacquiao fights, not fight, but fights, multiple fights with Pacquiao, and got that money and got that exposure with that in that regard. But in this, with once again Bob Arum, he says, why should I promote him? I could take that money and build a big house in Beverly Hills, wherever it was. That's intentional. And we know that there's certain things that you don't say in public, but in this case, it was said public. And that's intentional distress, not to promote the man, get that man paid. And we talked about this week earlier. Crawford's never been featured on a pay-per-view. You got somebody like Tank Davis that came up behind them and it's already had their first pay-per-view with a feature fighter. That is a shame. That is a shame. It's disrespectful. It's hurtful. And it so many times have we talked about this and folks try to break this down and find out what's the reason why. Is it a race issue? What's the real reason why? Is it hate? What is it? I mean, so many people would love to have a Terrence Crawford. So many people. And for this man to come out here and say that's a shame, disrespectful, and we hope that you guys leave him in your contract, become a free agent, do what you got to do to get up out of here. Please do. Please do.
There goes the hashtag, Coach. Free Bud Crawford.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the words of respect. Thank you.
Because I mean, yeah, I was saying that I was like from what I've read, I know that it's about another, I'd say 10 months for that contract to expire. But hey, I said initially, if there was a way to like say, hey, let me go ahead and buy out that remaining part of the contract and just leave me be. We had a free Canelo, so if we can have a free Canelo, we can have a free Bud Crawford. You know what I mean?
I feel you, man. I'm not gonna get on an interview and talk about Terrence's business. Put his business out there.
Right.
That man trusts me with his career, and we started from the first fight to now. And it would be wrong of me to talk down on Bob or down on what Bob said or Bob did or what Bob's doing or ESPN like that. That's not my character, brother. So, but if my loyalty lies with Terrence and Team Crawford and B&B and always keep this in mind when I do get angry at some of the things that maybe have transpired is I built this, I built this with one coach and one fighter, and now we are an empire. So I wouldn't tear it down, tear no fighter down, and just in an interview or a comment would just let my anger be the best of me.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's business, man. Business. And that man, Terrence and Bob and anybody else over at Top Rank, they gotta feed their family just like, myself or anybody else around me. And so for me to bash anybody in the business, that's taking food out of our family's mouths, and I'm not in the business of that. I'm in the business of making guys wealthy, making guys champions, and so when I'm dead and gone, there won't be no problem for me or anybody in my team to get into the whole thing.
Yeah, gotcha. I want to see, before I get like some more questions in here, I wanted to get caller in from the 305 area code. You're on the Boxing Source radio show. What's your name? Where you calling from?
The 305, that's this one again.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing? I wanted to speak, thanks for having me on Boxing Source. I enjoy your channel. I've been on a couple times.
Yep.
I just wanted to talk to BoMac about a couple of things. I wanted to know, I'm curious to why, me myself, I'm a Bud fan, I enjoy watching a fight. I think he probably, the most talented out of all the welterweights. And whenever I get into discussions with people about Bud, what I tend to hear all the time is he's not marketing. And the thing to me is, if he does what he does in the ring, that's what he should be getting paid for. His promoter should do his side and promote the guy.
I don't understand how these other fighters and these other networks are avoiding Bud because but they all said all these fighters they go out and get a title. He went out and got a title. Thurman said go fight in their con. He went to fight in their con. You know, and when he did win his title, which everybody wanted the WBO, when Jeff Horn had it, but as soon as it was wrapped around Bud's waist, they didn't want no parts of it. They didn't want no parts of the WBO. Yeah, that's how I see it. They didn't want no parts of the WBO until I mean as soon as Bud got the title, nobody wanted to fight Bud. I gotta go watch wrestling. I can't do it. I know it's a fact. It's a fact. I mean, I'll put it like this. When Bud won his title in 2018, Spence fought Mikey Garcia. Porter fought Ugas. Keith Thurman fought Lopez. Nobody wanted to unify, and everybody knows that unification.
What was stopping Crawford from going for the IBF belt instead of the WBO belt? He didn't have to go after the WBO belt. It was just an easier path. And what are we talking about? Nobody is sucking nobody. And I do challenge Crawford's service on lying to the public like somebody's sucking them. Nobody's sucking them. They just can't get the business right.
Well, I'm trying to say, if you can, come on, if you can make the business right for Lopez, for Ugas, and for a Mikey Garcia, then you can make the business right for a WBO.
So explain to me why Stop Rank offered Danny Garcia $3 million but paying the Mid-Con $5 million to fight Terrence Crawford. Explain that. Well, what part of the business?
Well, explain to me why the PBC didn't make a counteroffer.
What are you talking about? They didn't make a counteroffer. You gave Amir Khan $5 million to fight Terrence Crawford on pay-per-view. I'm pretty sure Garcia versus Crawford would have sold a lot better than Amir.
So why not make a counter offer for the WBO and then you got all 4 titles on the PBC?
Well, why not just come to the table correct? I can say the same thing. Why the make a counter offer to Keith Thurman when Keith Thurman came to make the fight with them?
Well, speaking of that, coach, brother Matt did kind of mention this thing here with Keith Thurman. Is there any way that you could expound on that, so to speak, or if you don't need to, we can just move past that?
What I got from the guys over at Top Rank that Keith Thurman did, because I believe, could be wrong. I think Keith Thurman was almost up on his contract, so he was a free agent or becoming a free agent. So he did offer to fight Terrence for $10 million, and everybody felt like that, that was way out of the ballpark to fight for $10 million.
Well, what was the counter offer? If he asked for $10 million, what was the counter offer?
There wasn't no counter offer, because I'm gonna tell you like this: Bud is in the business to be in the business for being undisputed, unified welterweight champion of the world. So when Keith had his belt, he didn't say nothing about fighting Terrence. Keith lost his belt, so Bud's going after that belt, which is Manny Pacquiao. Now, Ugas do got that WBA regular belt. That regular belt is just like a silver medalist or the second place. That WBA super title that Manny got, he's really recognized as the actual champion. That's like that WBC silver title. That's second place. We're not in the business of taking second.
So basically, he has no real interest in fighting Thurman. So why not just say that publicly instead of making it seem like Keith Thurman was ducking Terrence Crawford when everybody knows that's not the case?
But Thurman came in way above the pay grade, man. You knew he wasn't gonna get that.
But you guys were just talking about counter offers. Now when it's time to make a counter offer to the PBC side, all of a sudden nobody wants to make a counter offer. I don't get it.
You guys nothing. I didn't talk about no counter offer. That man that was just talking on the phone was talking about a counter offer. Now, parents, if a tournament came in with that super welterweight title, you goddamn right we would sat down at the table because that's the title that we want. We want to be the unified champion. You know what I'm saying? But did he? No. Did he come after he lost his belt? Yeah. We don't need you now. We needed you when before you lost your belt. We went and got a belt. What happened to your belt? Once you go back and get your belt, and then come back to the table. But did he do that? No. Did he want to fight Trent when he had his belt? No. Trent don't he don't owe those guys over there nothing, man. Nothing.
All right, Brother Jamil, you had a question, Brother Jamil?
Oh, BoMac, you're not just a trainer, you're a manager, right? And recently, Crawford's come out, Spence came out and said, we're talking about 60-40, that would be a fair split. Bud said he ain't taking no damn 60-40. Now, what are some of the factors that determine who's an A side and who's a B side in boxing, being that you're a manager also?
Well, you gotta look at, what they've accomplished in the sport, the numbers that they brought in from their last pay-per-view, how much the pay-per-view is going to cost, and what the pay-per-view intent with the networks, what are they going to take, what the promoters want, because when it's all said and done, after everybody take what they supposed to take, so the network's going to take them their half of the money right off the top. The only thing that's going to be left is like $8. $8 off for like $75.
$8 off each pay-per-view? $8 off each pay-per-view? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's after everybody get what they supposed to get. Like the network is what's going to get their money back, because the network is the one that's putting up the money. They fronting the money, Then the promoters, they really don't put up no money. They just get the money from the network.
What was that?
Listen. I said I'm not going to talk negative about Bob or anything like that. All you got to do is read between the lines, man.
All right, there you go.
Between the lines.
All right, so BoMac, let me ask you this question. If you and Team Spence reversed roles, Bud was a unified champ, a couple of successful pay-per-views, would you be asking for the same split that he's asking for?
Yeah, you're always supposed to ask for more than what you really think you're going to get. Because I can ask for $20 million to fight Pacquiao, but in reality, you probably only going to get 10. So if you say 60-40, you don't stand for that for no 60-40. It's 50-50, brother. That's what fighters, that's what fighters going to say, man.
But as for accolades, when it comes to who's the A side in it, you gotta take that into consideration. A lot of folks say that Spence got the 2 titles in the welterweight division, and Bud didn't do enough. But if you take his accolades of what he did at 140 and 135, and being a unified champion coming up, that's got to count for something.
You damn right, got to count for something. And I want you guys all to remember this, all right? All those guys, except for Danny, I think, started at been at 140 for most of their 147 for most of their career, and I think Danny just moved up to 440. But Crawford coming from 135, man, calling these cats out. He was calling those cats out at 147 when he was 140, because he knew he was moving up. So if anybody's taking the bigger risk, it's a smaller man. You know what I'm saying? I know those guys walk around. I think this the person, man, when him and Bud ran to each other, that dude looked like every bit of 185 one night. Man, what the walk say man Bud walk around at 162, 163? That's in shape. But he's made mistakes, man. You don't have a problem with If he really wanted to, he could really stay at 40 if he wanted to. But he's accomplished everything he wanted to accomplish at 40, so he moved up to 47. So everything accomplished at 40, he wants to accomplish at 47. I don't give a darn a client calls to ask who's at 137 and who got the belt. That's who we're going to target. If it's Smith, if it's Tommy Jones, if it's Larry Green, I don't care who it is. That's the belt I want. That's what I want to get before I retire. I want to be the unified champion at 147. And so happens, it happens to be that guy right there.
Yeah.
Hey,
I guess. Hey.
Listen. Everything is planned and mapped out. It ain't just being in the sport and getting your brains beat up and you just making a bunch of money. Oh man, you in this business, you want to accomplish something. You want to be able to get to the Hall of Fame. You want to be able to keep talking about you when you're gone from the sport. It's planned out, man. Bud could have came out the amateurs and fought 140 and been at 140 and then just been fighting at 140. When he came out the amateurs at 32, I said, man, we just gonna go to 35, let's get the title at 35, and then we'll move up to 40. From 40, we'll move up to 47. So I utilize the weight much as I can until he actually starts really growing. He's really a 40 pounder. If he walks around at 62, 63, he's supposed to be fighting 40. But he fight what? 47.
Yeah.
Easy way to make. But you're on a mission, man. You're on a mission. And any fighter that I'm a guy, just look at Jamel Herring. Jamel Herring was fighting at 35, 40 when he was in the amateurs. Where he get his world title at 30. Once you get done with 30, you move up to 35.
Yep.
You know why? Because a lot of these fighters, man, they just go in there and fight. They don't got no nutritionists. They don't got no straight coach. They just in there fighting because they've been fighting since they were 8 years old. But if you put people around you, man, that know what they're doing, you try to utilize your weight much as possible. Now there's a point now where he's gonna get to a point where he can't make 30 no more. Then he gotta move up to 35. It's real simple, brother. It's real simple.
Yeah, I feel you,
Nobody
man.
in the welterweight division has experienced undisputed but Crawford. Why isn't that? Why can't that be a bargaining tool at the table? That's what I don't understand. He's a 3-time world champion and he's a three weight classes. 6-time world champion or 5-time world champion, right? 5 times. 6-time world champion. 135.
6 times.
Yeah, 4 at 140 and 1 at 47. That's got to count for something. I mean, was there a 60-40 bid when Spence went in to fight Mike? What did he do at 147 prior to that fight? Nothing. So I mean, I gotta say that to me, I think Bud's the guy. I think Bud's the guy at 147. I think Spence did what he had to do at 147 also. I think he's a monster at what he does, and I hope he's healthy in this fight. I want to see the best from Earl Spence. I'm a fan of all the fighters at 147. But what I don't like is how people are using the Porter fight, saying, well, why did he duck Porter? Why did Bud duck Porter? And it's like, Porter didn't want no parts of him until he lost his title. He never mentioned it. And what Bud is trying to do is accumulate the title. Why is he going backwards? And they say, well, he ain't got a name. It's like, but he's got a title. So let him get in there and mix it up with these guys. That's just what I want to see. I just want to see the best fight in best. I'm not hating on nobody. I just want to see. I like to see the guys that are hungry. You know what I mean? Become like legends. They want to do legendary stuff. So that to me, she's got that stuff, and so does Spence. But I want to see Spence get in and mix it up with it.
Yeah, and Coach BoMac, when you're talking about who has the titles, whether it's, Spence or Pacquiao or, whatever. I mean, I guess you just, it doesn't matter to you as long as, Crawford gets those opportunities to fight for those titles. So when it comes to, who's holding those belts, I guess you're pretty much like Stephen A. Smith.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
So that's basically, we don't on that aspect. But you were mentioning the thing there with Jamel Herring. Like, is there like any progress about him fighting Carl Frampton sometime next year, or is it going to be like say January or February? If you know anything about that.
No, we're looking at the third weekend in January. What they're trying to do is find a date, a weekend to where it's not a lot of football being played, and it's an open date to where that the ESPN can be able to participate in the fight. Because at first, the first day they came out with, it was too much football on at that time, and ESPN was like, they don't want to try to bother, with trying to put the fight on, and plus they're 7, 8, 9 hours ahead of us from the East Coast, and then it'd be shown at a weird time, and the viewership numbers would be down, so they pushed it back, and they kind of looking at, I think it's the 17th.
The 16th, yeah, the 16th is a Saturday, January 16th. So maybe that it's just that they got that first thing with the NFL is January 9th weekend. That's like the first playoff weekend. So maybe they want to try to fit it in in between that or something like that. Because I think when they having this they're having the Super Bowl is February 7th is when the Super Bowl happening. So unless if it's like say January 30th, that last Saturday of January, then maybe it could fit it on that date possibly as well with Jamel Herring. So you do have that, and I know that So Cold had this fight against DeAndre Ware in September. But there was like some inklings about him potentially fighting Edgar Berlanga because they were like chatting it up on social media a few weeks ago. So yeah, so I don't know, man. That would be a good fight. I'm gonna say that straight up.
Steve was on the Olympic team. He was one of Steve's training partners. And so Steve was just telling us, man, kid is young, he's eager, he's hungry, and so that statement that he made, when he put that out there, I'll fight Steve. Steve barked back at him and said, "Listen, you address me as I am a man, sir. So respect. You better respect me. That's like I respect you." And so he's like, "I'll fight him. I don't give a care about me." And it died down after that. But, I don't think Top Break wants to make that fight soon because he's a young kid, man. I think he's like 21 or something like that, 21, 22.
Mm-hmm.
And, Steve, man, he got that grown man strength. Now, Berlanga, man, I've been seeing his fight up close, I commentated some of his fights, man. And he's the real deal, man. But I don't think he'll be able to move Steve with that stuff he be throwing.
I feel you, man. I feel you. So yeah, I'll be I guess looking for that fight, but it might not be for a good little time down the line. Like you said, Berlanga's there at like 21, so they're gonna try to slowly build him up there at 168 pounds. Also, like wanted to talk about what's been the progress with Maurice Hooker. If he's being eventually set up to get something going. I know that he had a potential fight against Regis Prograis. We talked about that in our last conversation. How that worked out with him and his weight. So is he still working at that 147-pound weight?
Yeah, well, see, with movement, it's you know, we over at PBC now, so we kind of just waiting on the date. We was trying to get the co-main event for the December 5th card in Dallas or wherever they have that. But it didn't work out. You know, and the couple opponents that they was looking at, you know, had something come up or they was already scheduled to fight, and so it kind of pushed the date back and so I just talked with those guys over there. Oh, what day was that? I think it was last week sometime. And what they trying to do is waiting on the schedule to come out as far as, you know, what the network's going to get PBC. And we just sitting back and waiting. But actually, you know, him and Rita and Jamel actually start camp tomorrow or Tuesday because they'll be, you know, coming in town tomorrow. So we'll do 1 week here and then we'll head out to Colorado Springs for, you know, up until after the fight.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's yeah, with the PBC thing, they had like a couple of open dates still, but you know, nothing I guess, you know, worked out to where he could be fit in, like say the last weekend of December, to have December 26th. They had that as a date for a PBC event, but you know, like you said, it would have been more fitting to put Maurice Hooker in there in that card for Dallas, you know, with him being from the area. But like I said, that didn't you know, necessarily work out. So they'll, you know, basically wait it out there with him. You know, over there at B&B Boxing, you know, you're working there with you know, Bud Crawford, but you also, you know, like you said, you have a team there with you in Esau and Red. So like, go into your relationship with Esau and Red and how they've been, you know, part of the B&B team.
Well, Red used to fight with Bud when they were amateurs. Back when they was like, I think Bud is like 33 and Red is like 41. So they used to fight together back at CW days when we all fought at CW. Esau, Red, and Bud, and so I used to actually coach Red, and you know, for the Nationals or Golden Gloves or something, or the USA's. And Esau came on the scene. He walked in the gym, I think, in 1999, and he just been there ever since. He used to fight professional a little bit, and I used to try to kind of help. You know, Midge helping with get fights with Saul, and then, you know, Midge used to say to us as was, you know, he's professional, so, you know, we'll come in there earlier, then as we would be finishing up, the kids would be coming in, which would be Bernard Davis. I'm sure y'all have seen him on Bud's Instagram, Red Spikes, and Bud, and some other guys. He used to say, you know, once you guys just stay back and help with the kids, you know, help train the team. And me and Saul was like, okay, fine, you know, we ain't have nothing else to do. And so it went from holding pads to actually coaching the team. And Midge actually coached me how to coach Terrence and Red and Bernard. He actually taught me how to be a coach and how to listen to fighters, how to read fighters, you know. And so, you know, while I was doing my thing, you know, he would just sit back and watch it. And so as time just went on, and it's nothing but right to, you know, to keep it in the family, because we're a family, man. You know, we brothers. I look at them cats like they're my nephews. I look at Saul like he's my little brother. Saul's 48, I'm 50, and Red 41. So, you know, we all got this unique relationship, and we didn't have an argument, man. we didn't have ourselves in that. We did have the stop at the red light, get out, start walking the moment.
Oh,
I ain't got
man.
shit. We didn't have those. I ain't cooking tonight. The hell with y'all. Y'all don't want to do the dishes. I ain't cooking the damn thing. But they have those moments, man. But we all rallied back together, man. You know, somebody not doing good that day, man. I'm gonna pick up the slack for you. And even if I'm not doing good some days, man, those cats, man, they pick up the slack for me. You know, and they look at me. For guys like a kid look at their parents. And one thing I will not do is I will not steer those guys wrong. I will not. And for guys to come on our team, like Jamel, Maurice, Steve part of the family, he's been around forever. What's the other? Rob Brandt. Those are decisions that we make as a team, as coaches, because at the end of the day, man, we all gonna work with that fight. I just Red. There's days where, man, Bubby wanted to be the head coach. Go, man, go. Who can tell him better more than a fighter that's in there fighting, or a fighter gets got done fighting, or considered the best fighter in the world, or been through 37 fights.
Yeah.
And these guys are still in their 20-something fights. So I don't mind, man. I enjoy it when he comes over there and you want to help out, or let me hold the pass to Robert. Go right ahead, man. Go right ahead. Because he can show some things that I can show because my 5 days is being over with.
Yeah.
So it's a joy, man. It's a joy. This is the actually first day in the last 4, maybe 4.5, maybe 5 months. I haven't seen those guys today. Physically seen them.
Man.
We together every single day.
Yeah, that's family right there. And like you were saying, being around that family there with Red and Sal, and then like you said, you bring in the other fighters in there, and like you said, you have Steve there that's from Nebraska himself, so he pretty much was around that area too. There with Bud, that you have a tight knit family right there. So yeah, you can have those arguments, but that's what a family is. It's not like everything is flowers and pillows or some type of shit, right? Like you gotta have some type of rocky shit going down. But you said there with Bud, sometimes Bud steps in the corner sometimes, with some of the fighters too. So you have them going in there giving us corners and stuff like that. So that's a whole unit that you got going on there at B&B.
And the good thing about it, man, everybody goes to everybody's fights.
Yep.
If it's a 6-rounder or if it's a 12-rounder. If it's the Continental Championship or if it's the World Championship. Everybody goes to everybody's fights, and we all rally together, man.
Yep.
We all rally together. I always find a way to somehow get Maurice Hooker or Rob Brett's name on the travel list or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because, they sometimes they seem like assholes, but in reality, that company over there is they're really gracious, man. Really, really gracious. And when I want to bring fighters in, and if we just going to New York for a premiere, yeah, bring them in, Brian. Come on, let some other 4 fighters come in, which I don't mind. And it just makes it more fun when everybody's there and we all sticking together, like we all brothers. The band of brothers. It's a joy, man. I promise you, it's a joy.
Yeah. Now, with that being said, and you're building, what you have there over in Omaha, Nebraska. Like, what do you feel like you see coming out of this within the next? I wouldn't say 5 years, but I'd say 10 years.
Man, I see multiple world champions, especially with some of the amateurs that we got. in the gym now as they prepare for the nationals in Shreveport, Louisiana, and for all those guys to be around when their fight come up and they come to camp and those amateurs see those world champions training in the gym. It's just inspiration, and it's easier for me as a gym owner, as a head coach, because that's just extra motivation to the kids. And we all know boxing is a cycle of life. We here and then we dead and gone, then another baby come up, and then it just keeps cycling. And that's what I want for my gym. And I'm proud to say that I try to pat my gym behind the Crocs gym and Emmanuel Stewart. You know, I knew him. I've never been to that gym, but I knew tons of fighters that came out that gym. I've seen multiple world champions come out that gym, and my trainer, Liz Minor, was Manny Stewart's one of Manny Stewart's best friends. So we always got a chance to talk to him, to be around him, you know, listen to some of the stories, and you know, so that was inspiration to me because I said to myself, man, I want to be like that one day. And so that was one of the reasons why I started commentating, because of him, because I already did the professional boxing, I already did the professional referee, I did the professional judges, I got a promotional company. So I'm trying to touch all aspects of the game. And some I'm good at and some of them I'm bad. You know, some of them, you know, flourish and some of them don't. But I mean, it's going to be a gym to where it's going to be considered one of the best gyms in the world.
Yeah, I feel you. You know, like you say, you want to model yourself out of Kronk Gym with, you know, that being one of the most storied gyms and storied locations, you know, in the sport of boxing. So you want to build, you know, B&B to be that, you know, over there in Omaha, Nebraska. And, you know, like you were talking about, you know, building the guys that you have in there in your stable right now, but also looking at what's coming up through the amateurs, like you said, over in Shreveport. They're having that national championships December 5th to the 12th. So, you know, folks will be looking out for that and to see, you know, who's next coming out of that crop and, you know, building up those fighters from that crop, and also working with who you currently have now, and just say that, look at all of these fighters that came out of B&B Boxing Academy and was built off of, you know, what you've done there over the years. So, you know, seeing that coming out of like 10 years from now, that would be, you know, definitely it as far as like being the most, or one of the most storied gyms in the country, or, you know, pretty much around the world.
Correct, man. It's a journey, man. And the best part I like about it is the journey part, and just seeing young kids growing to young men, from young men growing to, you know, sculpting themselves into the characters that they need to further themselves in life, and just being a part of it. And one of the reasons why I like doing it, man, is because somebody did it for me and never charged me a dime, and so I want to do it for somebody else, even if it's just one kid. You know, that's a success story in itself. So it's just a joy to give back to young men and young men of my community, young men of the boxing world, you know, because, man, it's, you know, even though, you know, we get paid as trainers and we get paid as managers, if I had to do this for free, I wouldn't mind a bit, brother. I wouldn't mind a bit, because I know I'm helping somebody. I know I'm helping a family get to that next level, and just go, just, you know, for instance, like, I know y'all seen Jamel. He just bought him brand new house, man.
Yeah.
Brand new smacking house.
Yeah. He posted that.
And just the process of him starting to look for a house, he just started earning the money, the 6-figure payday, just even, to even get to that point, and me tell him, man, just be patient, man. That money's going to come. All we got to do is just keep winning and winning and winning and winning. And I believe like his first payday was much more than what he ever got paid at PBC. And for him to come over to my stable on a 2-fight losing streak, and to turn him around and turn him into a world champion, and for him to, provide for his family and provide for his wife, and just knowing his wife, knowing his kids and his brother, his mom, and just knowing them, and from the point that he walked in the gym just to be a sparring partner from parents to where he at now, probably packing his bags up, getting ready to come up to Omaha now, and he get to leave town for the next 2 months, and leaving his family in a brand spanking new 5-bedroom, 4 baths. I mean, I think he said 4,700 square feet. God damn. Man, I'm happy for that little dude. And then for him to call me, that initial conversation I had with him and his wife, when he called and he said, man, Bo, can you help me? And I laid out the game plan for him, and it worked. And now look at it. That's a joy, man. That's a joy. They come in town, man. You come in town, man. Those are the fighters, man. Those are success stories that I love being a part of.
Yeah, he.
I gotta go, man. I've been talking to y'all for an hour now.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. Thank you very much for coming in. Just real quick, I know that you'll be on social media, so you got like what is it, BoMac Brian on Twitter, and what is it on IG?
I think it's Brian BoMac or BoMac Brian. But my Facebook is Brian BoMac McIntyre. Twitter is BoMac something.
BoMac Brian.
Brian BoMac, something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's 2 pages. I think I mixed up had 2 pages or something like that on that Twitter or that Instagram. Something like that.
Yeah, I feel you.
If it's the one you always see, I always like post old music on there on Instagram. Always post old music again, like stuff I made cook for that day or something like that. That's me.
Gotcha.
Hey, BoMac, do you mind if I ask you a question or make a suggestion?
Look right here, sir.
All right, this is once a kid again. I was like, I know social media is a big thing now, and I know the way that Bud Crawford deals with social media, but I think one thing that you guys can take full advantage of is the fact that he's a very competitive individual. So if you post things like pickup games or ping pong or whatever it is, people attach themselves to that, so it can't hurt.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, all right, okay. I'll let him know. Matter of fact, I'm about to go over his house here pretty soon, so I'll let him know.
Yeah, I know that he be competing with like Jamel and Steven on a few things, so he could definitely do that.
Yeah, people attach themselves to that.
All right, brothers, man. I appreciate y'all.
Hey, he got called out, so he said try to get Bud on the show too. So we gonna work on that.
I'll work on it. I tell you what, man. If you can get Julie Gold stickers, I can't think her last name. She always be the one that Bill the Nelly out so he can do interviews.
All right,
if you stick with Julie.
I'll figure it out.
Matter of fact, I'll send you her email.
All right.
Send her email to you, and then I'll let you work through that.
All right, gotcha. Thank you very much, there, Coach BoMac, for joining us, man. It's a pleasure as always, man, and we'll get at you.
Thank you.
All right. So there you go, man. There's Coach Brian BoMac McIntyre. He was able to answer as many questions as possible. And hey, brother Matt, you try to put his feet to the fire.
Hey,
Yo.
listen,
Oh man, no man, I'm just a small time dude, man. That's it, man. I'm just putting this thing out there for the peoples, man. I'm putting this out here for the peoples. Yeah. Yeah, man. I just, we try to work on this thing and, get opportunities when they come. So, but hey, I just, bring it out for the fans, man. It's like, the sport of boxing, it's like, to me, it's like, you could access these, trainers and fighters and things like that. You just got to put your name out there, something like that, and if you just keep at it, they'll get with you, It's not like, you got to be all, starstruck and shit. That'd be my thing. Just don't be starstruck and you'll be able to get this stuff no problem. You know what I mean?
Well, when I look at it like this, also too, you got the open panel. Everybody got different opinions, and you keep it open. I think that's cool. That's what I do too.
Yeah, man.
I try to keep an open panel and stuff because we always learn.
Yeah. My thing is, man, you ain't gonna have everybody agree on everything. You know what I mean? So, you saw it on here. With the thing, like you said, you kind of roll with Terrence Crawford, and you got a couple folks on here that don't necessarily roll with Terrence Crawford. You got, people that roll with Deontay Wilder, and I've been accused of being the biggest Deontay Wilder hater on the planet. So it just, makes for interesting conversations.
So brother, you said that based on Terrence Crawford's resume and 135, et cetera, et cetera. Can you say that statement again? So I don't misconstrue.
Oh yeah, I said based on what he did in 3 different weight divisions. He's a 3-weight division champion. He's a 6-time world champion. 6 times. And he's undisputed at 140. That's something that nobody in the welterweight division has accomplished. So, that's got to count for something. It just got to count for something at the bargaining table because, this is what you've done. It's implemented. It's on paper. It's real. So, people can argue who fought, when he fought him, whatever. He's got a pretty damn good resume. It's not the biggest name, but it's filled with a lot of good fighters. You know what I mean? So what more can he do at welterweight to get these shots? And when he's trying to continue to unify the title because he's got one, and he's earned it. And he earned it when he came up. So, he's got that title now. He wants to fight champion. And then these guys are like, you're giving me bad bids, and they're not really offering anything but the name that they're riding on. But what has Thurman done lately? What is Danny Garcia done lately? But he got the shot. Yes, they did. But I'm saying in his last 2 fights, who did he fight?
Thurman sold 500,000 pay-per-view, and Danny Garcia became the mandatory.
Can I my train of thought before we go to another one? Because I asked that for a reason.
Okay, shoot.
Yeah. So at 140, Terrence Crawford won undisputed.
Yeah.
So let's look at Danny Garcia. The names that Danny Garcia fought at 140.
Right.
I would argue and say that Danny Garcia, even though he was 1 title away from being undisputed, had a better run at 140 than Terrence Crawford did.
That can't be arguable because you got McIntyre, you got Khan when Khan was on top of his game, at 140. Yeah, so yeah, you could definitely argue that.
There's a lot more names than that. It's a lot more names than that. There's a few more.
All right, name them.
All right, let me go to box rec. So
Hey, you don't need to do that. You got Lucas Matisse. That was the one where I felt where I thought that Matisse was going to beat Garcia. I thought he was going to beat him after Matisse taking out Peterson. You know, he had that. You had his fight against Dab Judah before that, which was a very, very good fight, actually. He had the fight against Kendall Hope before he won the world title. And he did fight our favorite guest on the Boxing Source radio show, Nate Campbell, the Galaxy Warrior. Oh man, he also fought Ashley Theophane. Well, actually, that was kind of a shade above 140, but he fought Theophane too. A good while back. So yeah, he's at a who's who at 140 pounds.
And even Tim Bradley, I would argue, has a better resume at 140 than Terrence Crawford. We can't take away his accolade, but all I'm saying is the names that these guys fought at 140 were better names, were more quality of wins than Terrence Crawford's resume. I wouldn't
say more quality. I would say bigger names, but I wouldn't say more quality because you're missing a lot.
Bigger names don't make quality. The bigger names don't make quality.
I don't think so. A big name can have a very light touch, resume, and not look good. That top competition. Well, you could say that, but you could take other guys that don't got big names that were very good fighters, like Victor Posta or Felix Diaz, that everybody seems to just bowl over, but everybody knew that Felix Diaz beat Peterson, but he didn't get knocked out. By who?
Terrence Crawford, did he get knocked out right after Terrence Crawford as well?
Yeah, no, he didn't get knocked out. He lost the decision.
But he lost. Okay.
Yeah.
We can't take away from Terrence Crawford's amazing ability. He's a great boxer. But the quality of his wins are, what's the African guy name? What's the guy?
Ndongo.
Ndongo ain't that good. Like when you look at Ndongo since then, Ndongo isn't that good.
He got beat up by Regis Prograis the next fight.
Yeah, but they were all, but the most of these guys was undefeated when they fought Terrence Crawford.
Well, what I'm saying,
and then they got beat up afterwards.
It's about who you fight, though. Like that's what pisses me off about this whole belt collecting. Oh, well, he was undisputed at 140, but who did he fight? It don't matter. I don't care if you're undisputed if you don't clean out a division. He didn't clean out 140 because Regis Prograis was still there. He didn't fight Prograis. When he got to 140, he didn't fight Danny Garcia. So why do we keep making it seem like undisputed means you cleaned out a division?
He didn't fight Danny Garcia, or did Danny Garcia not fight him? I mean, that could go one or two different ways.
Only thing I know is that Top Rank offered Amir Khan more money than they offered Danny Garcia to fight even at 147. So what can we do to get money?
But what I'm saying is, was that Phil Crawford or was that Bob Earl?
We don't know.
It's his team.
We don't know.
It's his team. Make the fight happen.
It don't matter. Okay, it don't matter. So it's his team. So whenever a fight don't get made, it's Terrence Crawford and Bob Earl's fault. It's not Danny Garcia's fault or
Hey, listen, here's what I know about Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia fighting Errol Spence. He fought Keith Thurman. He fought Sean Porter.
But he didn't fight Crawford.
Guys. So who can you really blame?
How can you? But what I'm trying to say is this: if you're gonna say he ain't fought those guys, when them guys were champions, did they fight him?
And here we go with the belt collection again. It doesn't matter. You mean to tell me when we had the four kings in the 80s it mattered if one had a belt or not. No, he wanted to be a round robin of all the best guys fighting each other.
And
It doesn't matter if
every one of it, and
He's
every
still
one of those,
fighting.
in every one of those matchups, was those guys champions, and did they have belts when they matched up?
Not all of them.
Not all of them, right? But did they match up?
Somebody had a belt. You're right.
Somebody had a belt. What I'm trying to say is, so what if a guy, if you take Sean Porter for instance, Sean Porter said at first he didn't sound like he even wanted to fight Steps for a while. Then he got on, and then he said, "All right, cool, boom. Now we get unifications at welterweight." He got a title. Once he got a title, you didn't hear Bud's name. You didn't hear Bud's name anytime prior to him getting the title. You didn't hear about Bud. When he got the title, you didn't hear about Bud. The moment he lost the title, I'll fight Bud.
But here's the thing on the flip. Here's the thing on the flip. When Bud was the undisputed champ at super lightweight, was he mentioning any of those guys?
Nope. He moved right up.
What was that?
When after he became undisputed, he moved up.
Right.
So
But even then,
right?
But even then, the fight between him and Jeff Horn was pretty much being made before that, because the original date for that fight was going to be in April, and they were trying to have a card with Crawford and Horn and have the card with Pacquiao and Matisse. The thing was, Pacquiao wanted to have a fight card of his own and be in a venue of his own, separate from Crawford and Horn. So with that being said, at the time, that Crawford-Horn fight was scratched. So the thing is that Crawford really didn't have like the moves to try to go after any of those guys, regardless if they had belts or not. That intent was for Crawford to fight Manny Pacquiao. That was his goal for years. There wasn't anything about, hey, okay, fighting Spence or fighting any of those other guys. His aim was to fight Manny Pacquiao. And that was like before Manny Pacquiao even lost to Jeff Horn.
My thing about the belt conversation. I'm sorry, bro. My thing about the belt conversation. Let's take Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner said he's the fastest 4-belt champion, 6, whoever, right? He's the fastest one to get to 4 belts since whoever. But all them 4 belts that Adrian Broner won was pre-Adrian Broner fighting the realest fighter that he fought, which was Marcos Maidana. And then who's Adrian Broner 6 then? Has Adrian Broner won any big fight since then?
He literally jumped past 140. He skipped 140, and 140 was lit at that time.
Do you blame him? No one believes him now? All I'm saying is, Adrian Broner won all these belts, and he has that accolade to be the fastest. He's a 4-belt champion. Maybe it may not make the Hall of Fame. I doubt it, but maybe not. But what I'm saying is, he don't have many quality wins against top level fighters.
Right.
The belts are just trinkets. Like everybody, like
I got what you're saying. I understand exactly what everybody on the panel is saying. I get that. But here's the question I want to ask you. When he did call them out, they told him to go get a belt. He went and he got a belt, right? And it was the same belt that Spence was talking about, strap season, talking about fighting Horn. Thurman was talking about fighting Horn. Manny was talking about a rematch with Horn. Everybody wanted Horn. But then when he got the WBO, oh man, he ain't did nothing. He ain't fought nobody. He ain't did this. He ain't did that. So if he was such an easy victory, and it was strap season, and when he called him out, his Spence not list off 4 guys before he was fighting.
Did he say what with 4 guys? You better say that again.
Did Spence not list off 4 guys before he would fight Terrence Crawford?
I mean, you may have a point, but like business wise, like, so I want to separate people fighting each other versus business wise.
Okay.
I'm just pointing out a point here. Does it make, if you have a belt, any one of those guys, so let's say you have a belt, does it make sense for Terrence Crawford to now fight Keith Thurman, who does not have a belt? Like, does that really make, we would love to see the fight, but does it make sense for him to do it? Like, career-wise, it's so much more risk than it is reward. So, do I like it when guys don't fight other guys for whatever reason they don't? No, I don't like it, but risk versus reward, there's not a lot of reward to fight somebody who don't have a belt, and that's the era that we're in. We're not in the era where, unless you're on the PBC side, to where you fight somebody and you don't have a belt. Going across the road and fight somebody who don't have a belt is too risky. So people don't fight. I don't like it, but that's what they do.
But what I'm trying to say is this: if you risk and reward, so we're talking about risk and reward, and we're talking about legacy, right? And both of this trusted. But unification against a Bud Crawford or a Earl Spence are massive. Massive.
Yeah.
Okay, no matter who you are. So what I'm trying to say is, look, this guy's got 2 belts. He earned his belt. This dude went to England and took a belt. You know what I mean? He flew overseas to get it. I think Earl Spence is spectacular. I enjoy watching him. You know, and what he was doing when nobody wanted to fight him, but he was still. It's track season, but track season died when Bud Crawford became the WBO champion. I mean, the champion, and he gained that championship. And I don't care what anyone says, I think that Spence's energy completely changed. And just like everybody else's. And I'm just saying, they see something in this guy where they seeing it's a huge risk. So they want to get more money, they want to get this, but I'm like, yo, they got the title, he's got the title, you saying you want to be undisputed champion? All of them said they want to be undisputed champion. Danny waited till somebody won 2 belts on the PBC, but he was ranked number 1 in the WBO. So they said they low bid him, right? They low bid him. But if you feel that you had a chance at winning, how much did he make? Would he have made more money fighting Bud Crawford for a WBO title than he made fighting the 2 guys he fought put together?
Maybe so. Can I throw out a point?
Shoot.
Could it be that the man who controls a lot of the action in welterweight is doing exactly, has orchestrated it such that exactly the events that are happening now are happening, which is, in my eyes, Bud Crawford and his manager are like, dang, that's messed up that our promoter doesn't really appreciate us. And so we want to fight. And so now we're at the point where we could re-sign with this promoter, or we could go and get, probably bigger paydays and more action and cement our legacy in a better fashion. Do you think that could happen?
Hey, you know what? I'm not against it. Hey, Manny did it.
Pretty much, yeah.
And Bob wrote him off, and look what Manny did. He went out and beat Keith Thurman. And that was a hell of a fight. Both dudes came in with scrap. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? He beat the younger guy, and he pulled off the big belt, and he wrote him off. Bob wrote him off. And that's what Bob gets.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And now he's writing off probably one of the most talented guys on his roster, because
90 seconds.
Franco was a cupcake. And now he's gone. Now he's like, oh yeah, but then to have that interview with the doctor, man, I feel some sort of way if I was Bud Crawford and Bud Crawford's team. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, this dude just said it. Like, how are you calling yourself my promoter? And number one, you're telling me that I need to present myself. What am I paying you for? Why are you getting a percentage of my money?
Head off to BoMac in the way that he handled the interview with us.
Oh, yeah.
60 seconds.
That takes a stand-up guy to know. I mean, we all know what it is. We all can read, like he said, read between the lines. But to say my allegiance is to Terrence Crawford, and business-wise, I'm not saying anything that's gonna mess up anything for Terrence Crawford.
Hell yeah.
I respect him. I mean, I already respect him for his body of work, but I'm just saying that's some real shit right there. To me, that was some real shit.
That's why I didn't even bring up Bob. I was like, Cause
You wanted to, stay away from that. Less than 30 seconds in the live section here. If you wanted to call in to talk, call in at 347-237-5539. But we also are on live through YouTube as well. But yeah, man, Coach BoMac didn't really, want to step on other people's toes on that. So he just, did that and just handled that in a professional way. And like you said, if he wants to, discuss it, with the people within Top Rank, they can just do that, mano a mano, man. There ain't nothing where, they have to say things out in public, like Sean Porter was saying about what Bob Arum was talking about. You don't have to air that out in public. Just, set it up in between closed doors and, just iron it out. Either that or, like I said, just release Terrence Crawford from his contract. His last fight, he got $4 million. If you claim that you're losing money paying off Terrence Crawford and making those fights, then go ahead and release Terrence Crawford. You only got about, 10 months or so? So why not? It shouldn't be that expensive.
That's their counterproductive as a promoter. If you keep promoting, you basically you're doing the opposite of what you're supposed to be saying. You're a promoter and you're literally saying this guy can't sell or this guy isn't that and I'm losing money on him. It's like, man, to me, that was some low, that was pretty low. That was pretty low to do. And
do we think he's making money on Tyson Fury? Do we think he's making money on Tyson Fury?
Nope.
Man, but whether he's making money or he's not, if I'm a promoter, I'm supposed to promote my fighter. And to take promotion away from my fighter and to down my fighter in an interview or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like that's working against yourself. And I think it's just basically like, you'll be at a job or something and they're like, well, they try to treat you like you can't find nothing better. I think that was the type of move, like a bully move. Like, it ain't going to get no better than what you got right here. Which, everybody you left Bob, think about it. Mikey Garcia, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao,
Springer La Hoya.
Oscar, they all blew up. So, I mean, that's entirely up to him, though, what he decides to do. God bless him, whatever he decides to do. But, I'm like, hey, man, I think I'm just not that big on Bob.
Yeah, I mean, you could only go so far with Bob Arum. And, once you get to a specific point and he doesn't get you to, the level that you want, then that's when you basically leave him. I see that soon coming from Bud Crawford, and not that far behind. I also see that coming out of Teofimo Lopez, especially given what Lopez said after the end of this fight against Lomachenko. So, that basically is what it is when it comes to Bob Arum and how far he takes his fighters. When they're signed under Top Rank.
What he does do, though, we got to give him props for this, because he does give the guys their shots. He does give them their titles. He does give them, so he must be like in that, in that group where he can get these guys the shots that they need to get these titles. But after that, when it comes to promoting them, like you don't be seeing Bud on anything. You don't see, I always said that he wasn't promoting Bud good enough. Like what I was just saying to BoMac, I think that they should take full advantage of social media and being that Bud isn't like that social and you don't flash his chains and his whips and do all that and look at my crib and all that.
Yeah.
He don't do that, and when he talks trash in the face of the opponent and then shows you what he can do in the ring. To me, I like that. I respect that. But nowadays, that you need a little more than that. So if if you're gonna do something, work on the one thing that will attract people to him would be his competitive spirit. So I'm like, if you're gonna be on social media, have him do that. You know, like that competitive, that Michael Jordan spirit, where he just can't lose at anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I know that they have stuff like that in camp. I know that he has like, you know, track competitions or something with, you know, basketball or anything like that with, you know, the other guys here. Like I said, Steven Nelson's out there, Rob Brandt's out there, Jamel's out there, you know, Maurice is out there, and a good number of others. So they have the whole camp, you know, out there with about like, say, 6 or 7 fighters. So, you know, I feel like, you know, if he does more of that type of stuff, then, you know, he'll be, you know, getting himself out there a little bit more, man. So, apparently, yeah, I think one of my guys dipped out there. The president of the Deontay Wilder fan club dipped out. You know, we had like this good little conversation there, like I said, with BoMac. Very thankful that he did come on there because, you know, we really didn't have, you know, that much action this previous week. I know that, you know, people over in the UK side wanted me to, you know, talk about Conor Benn's performance against Sebastian Formella. I kind of like put a video out on the YouTube channel in reference to Conor Benn and where he's at right now in the welterweight division. Huh?
What happened?
Pretty much a near shutout by Conor Benn over Sebastian Formella. So that was like 10 rounds. He got, you know, one score of 100-90, another score of 99-91, and then another score of, I think it was 99-92. So I think a 10-10 round was scored by one of the judges. So he got the win. He's, you know, at the bottom in the rankings for the WBA in welterweight. He does have a continental title there, so that's like what, the 6th title within the division of the WBA. So, you know, we're gonna see how they're going to develop them. I mean, you got like other guys that are out there in the division, like the, you know, the Virgil Ortizes, the Rashidi Ellises, the Boots Ennis, and those guys, like, will we see him fight someone like that, or are they gonna say, "Oh, let's see if we can put him against a veteran"? You know, that maybe they could do that. Put him against someone that has like a lot of experience there in the division. But if he feels like, you know, that he wants to go up and step up in competition, then, well, you can see if he can put his feet to the fire, man. I mean, you got, you know, someone like maybe a Jesse Vargas who fought earlier this year against, you know, Mikey Garcia. You know, that's a possibility there. I don't know who else. Huh?
Who's promoting them?
That's through Metro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, if, you know, Matchroom could make a one-off fight between Mikey Garcia and Jesse Vargas, and, you know, maybe they could, you know, try to do something with Conor Benn, but you would have to, you know, pay Vargas pretty handsomely for that fight, probably, you know. But other than that, I don't see, you know, what else is out there for, you know, Conor Benn to do next year. You know what I mean? So, I think like someone on YouTube was saying that like Formella, you know, took a beating in this particular fight, like he kind of did against Porter. So, I mean, yeah, Formella's, I guess, you know, a tough guy, but he won what, 22 consecutive fights before he fought Sean Porter back in August. So, it does have to count for something.
Yeah.
You know,
all the winners don't, you know, they mean something. No. But what about a Delorme?
Yeah, Thomas Delorme would be another name that he could, you know, probably get on there. But that would I think that would be a dangerous fight for him. I think Delorme, you know, is a really competitive fight for him to have. What is it they also had? Oh, they had, what is it? Josh Kelly was on this thing too? Yeah, because remember Josh Kelly had that fight against Ray Robinson last year. You know, that was a draw. So, but man, I don't even remember that fight.
That was a draw. I don't know if that was a draw.
Yeah, I thought, what was it like? Man, because you had that fight that was a draw. You had, Katie Taylor there against against Pursoon. That was part of that fight card. Of course, you had Smith beating up Hassan and Dom in that fight card. So, but yeah, Josh Kelly, he had pretty much almost a shutout win, last year against Winston Campos. But you have to see like where he's at this particular point of his career too. Maybe that could be a possible fight. Josh Kelly versus, Conor Benn. Maybe they could make that fight.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad fight. I mean, people will come out for it. I'm pretty sure it would make them both a little dough too.
Yeah.
So I mean, and they both somewhat up and coming names. So I don't know.
Yeah, Conor Benn, I guess, was calling out Josh Kelly. So if they could make that fight in the UK, that would definitely be something. But the way that they're moving out there in the UK, man, it'll be a good little while before you have any type of crowds out there. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to do the I want to see these guys get back in the ring. I want to get these. I think they're both legit. I just want to see them in there because you can't really gauge them until they get in there with the big names.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Same with Ryan Garcia. He got the Campbell fight, so now you can gauge him. You can gauge him now because he's in there with a guy who's been in there with solid fighters and put on solid performances. So that we're going to see what Ryan does against somebody, who can really scrap.
Right.
And that's a good way of doing it. You know what I mean? Because we got, Tank to me, he proved himself to me when he beat what's that guy's name? Damn it, I forgot his name.
Leo?
Puerto Rican kid.
Oh no. He won the belt too.
Yeah. Loma beat him too.
Yeah.
But he can scrap. That dude can scrap. And his performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that dude.
Yeah, that was Jose Pedraza.
Pedraza. I think that dude can scrap. And the points that we put out against him to me was like, wow. And I want to continue to see him fight top-notch competition because it's only going to fill his pockets. And I already knew it was going to happen in this last fight. Like I wasn't sold on that. I knew eventually he was going to tag that guy, and I was like, this is not really his division. And Tank hits awfully hard, But they're enticing fights to all them young kids, man. To me, out of all the young guys, the most talented out of all of them, it's supposed to. I think, but at the same time, the most
Is who?
Shakur.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think the top-notch guy out of the young guys is Teofimo. Period. Like this dude proved it. This dude did everything he has to do, and it's got big moves. They talk about him fighting Mikey Garcia, and I'm like, that's crazy. Like, I would like to see him. I think he can do it too, but that's a risky fight.
I think he can get beat.
Yeah, oh yeah, but I think like Mikey, it would be at 140 they're talking about it, but he's talking about going for undisputed first. I think he's gonna do one title defense, which don't make no sense to me. I would say why not just go after the WBC and be undisputed, truly undisputed, and then move up to 140 and have a number one spot at the WBC. So the winner of the 140 undisputed, he's got the first shot at it.
Right.
Because he's got the franchise championship, so then he'd be undisputed in 2 weight classes. Now that's a hell of a bargaining chip, and he's a hot commodity too. So,
and the thing is, it would be a lot easier for him to make that, you know. So the thing with Lopez is he should, you know, like I said, wait it out, try to get the fight with, you know, with Devin Haney. Try to push Bob Arum to make that fight, even though Bob Arum has felt like, yo, I'm not gonna have any of my guys fight Devin Haney. He had his shot to sign with us, and he didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
It's just bad for him. All he can do is just box and have boring fights over there with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom. So I don't care if he has some WBC title. We're not going to fight Devin Haney. But I mean, it is what it is with that, and I know that, you know, Lopez Sr. said that, you know, he wants his son to move up ASAP. But yeah, I'd rather why not make that fight between, you know, Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney? That would be one of the biggest fights that you could make at 135 pounds right now. I don't see, you know, a fight between Teofimo Lopez and the Tank Davis. That's not going to happen. No, so if you're gonna have one fight, have it against Devin Haney. If you get the win over Haney, then you can move up to 140, and you would have the time to where they could sort out who would be the undisputed champ at 140, and then you try to fight the winner of of that fight. You know what I mean? So
yeah, you know what though? If they're talking about Teofimo fighting Mikey after an undisputed fight, so that's like 2-3 fights down the line. That would mean Mikey would have to drop to 140 and compete and put himself in position at 140. So he would have to fight like Prograis or something like that. That's a big fucking fight. Like that, to me, those are really competitive fights.
But here's the question. Do you think that Mikey Garcia is going to have a fight with anyone that's involved with Top Rank again?
I think if it makes dollars, it makes sense. I think Top Rank is against it, not Mikey. Because think about it, the last interview done with Bob Arum when they brought up Mikey, you see Bob Arum's face? He's like, oh no, Mikey this, Mikey that. You know what I mean? Like he was like, he wants too much money and da da da. You know how it is. When a guy ain't with Bob no more, he dogs him. You know, he dogs him out. So it ain't Mikey. Mikey, he wanted to fight Loma. People say he didn't want to fight Loma, but you seen, like, I read in between the lines. When as soon as they brought Mikey up, he just was like, he wants too much money. He wants too much money. He don't deserve that much money. It's like then he went and fought on the PBC with Earl Spence, and how much money did he bring? Him and Earl fighting in Texas, the Mexican and the big Texas fighter. You know what I mean? A Mexican in Texas. Boom. And then you got a huge Texas fighter in Earl Spence. That brought Major League up. People tuned into that. It's big numbers. So Mikey can sell. He's just too stingy, man. He's too stingy. That's what it is, man. He don't want to bet on his fighters, man. He ain't betting on his fighters. And I think that Lomachenko and Teofimo promoted that fight. Well, Teofimo promoted that Lomachenko fight himself.
Yeah,
He
much.
he been for 2 years. He been pushing for that fight on his own. That wasn't Bob. I don't think Bob even wanted that fight to happen. You know, he's gonna pass the torch. It's like BS, man. He don't want to give up Lomachenko. And now and then he took that loss. It killed it when you want Loma in the ring with him. You seen how he was throwing a fit after he knocked out Comey? He was like, nah, he can't be in here. And they're like, nah, we gotta do this. You know, to set up the next fight. He's like, man, this is my moment. I got the title. He's gonna fight me anyway.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, I don't know if Kill's sticking around.
Yep,
Do you
sure.
think that, here's another question I got for y'all, though.
Oh.
It's a little off beat, but you think Ryan gonna stick around with De La Hoya? Now that, you know, Canelo left?
Canelo left. I mean, we'll see what happens after this fight with Luke Campbell, because initially, even before this whole thing with Canelo Alvarez, their budget under Golden Boy wasn't that much anyway. So they still had a good amount of fighters, but you're not working with that good of a budget. So I think with Ryan's fight against Francisco Fonseca, I think he got paid, pretty handsomely for that fight. So he might get a good little grip against Luke Campbell. But after that, I'm not sure if he wants to, move forward, with, having that fight or fighting under, Golden Boy promotion. So that's the thing on that. I know that, next Friday is supposed to have, Daniel Jacobs, against Gabe Rosado. But you also have on the 28th, the main event, one of the heavyweight fights in the UK that I've been looking forward to, pretty much most of the year. And that's Daniel Dubois against Joe Joyce, man. 2 undefeated heavyweights there. And it's going to be, for one of those silver titles in the WBC. So it's going to be, they're going to be highly ranked in the WBC, whoever wins that fight. And I kind of put this fight like how you had the fight between Anthony Joshua and Dylan White back in, 2016 or 2015 or something like that, when they were both 14, 15-0 or 13-0.
Mm-hmm.
And, with Anthony Joshua winning that fight, he was able to get himself in a position to fight for a world title after that. So
that's a fact.
Maybe the winner of this fight could be put in position to fight for a world title. I'm not certain about that, given the, situation with the world titles right now. But I just feel like, whoever wins this, and if they win it definitively, then they're going to be talked about as someone that's going to fight for a world title real soon. They talked about that about Daniel Dubois for about 12 to 14 months. Like, he's supposed to be the guy that's next in line or something like that. But he's going to really have a test here against Joe Joyce, unless if he comes out firing right off the bat. Because for me, Joe Joyce has that experience. He's, been there against, who's who, whether it's been in the World Series of Boxing or as a professional. So he has that experience. And I don't think that Daniel Dubois has, dealt with someone like that over the course of his professional career yet. So it's going to be a good little scrap between those two guys.
Mm-hmm. And what happens when it goes past 3?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything might change then. I mean, if Dubois can't get out of it, and Dubois got a punch. So I don't care how slow people say he is, he's got a punch, man. And if he can take them shots, then this guy burns himself out.
Mm-hmm.
That could be disastrous.
I mean, the thing is, he's taken out, pretty much everybody since what was that? Like, only Kevin Johnson, man. Only Kevin Johnson, and he didn't stop. you know, but Kevin Johnson was, you know, hardly anybody stopped Kevin Johnson anyway, man. Only who was it? Only Joshua and who else? Oh, there was like some other dude. But like, you know, Joshua stopped him. You know, Pete Miles guy stopped him. And actually Bacoli stopped him. So, but that's, you know, pretty much it. But, you know, other than that, you know, Dubois has been, you know, stopping folks. So that's been the, you know, that's been the deal with you know, with Dubois. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that fight. You know, see what jumps off with that, you know what I mean? And you know, that's what's gonna go on with that. Yo, I did mention, yo.
Who else you got on your panel? They got channels?
No, Mike just, you know, calls in, you know, he's been, you know, in and out of the boxing game and stuff like that. But, you know, he don't really have a boxing channel like that. The only other one that called in was DT3. Like DT3 has a boxing channel.
I know. DT3. Yeah, we both stuck to each other. So I was like, yeah, I just want to.
What'd you say, Mike?
I said Mac has a channel, right?
Nah, he doesn't. All he does is just talk, you know, boxing on Twitter and Facebook. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, BT3 is NBBC.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, I know how you get down. I've been sub to that guy. You know, and then when I found this channel, I was like, oh, yeah, cool. Then you let me on the panel, I was like, yep. So, because I love talking boxing, man. You know what I mean? I got passion for the sport. I did it for a little while. I enjoyed it, you know, and so I just like, you know, I certainly, it's nice to know that boxing is alive and well right now. You know what I mean? I just want to see the big fights happening. And we got some lively fights coming on lately, and, you know, all over from, you know, across the pond to here, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know, it's a massive fight, man. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it boxing grown again.
Yeah, these matches are starting to pick up. You know, you do have the thing that went down over the past, you know, couple months and stuff like that. You've had, you know, the pay-per-view events with the Charlo brothers. You had the thing there with Tank Davis against Leo Santa Cruz. You know, follow it up there. Like I said, we had the thing with Terrence Crawford and Kell Brook. And, you know, now we're, you know, about to head into December with, you know, Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia. And, you know, you also have Anthony Joshua defending his titles there against Kubrat Pulev. And you will have Canelo Alvarez against Callum Smith. And, you know, people think that it's not going to be much of a fight. I think that, you know, Callum Smith has been preparing for this fight, just like Canelo has. Like Canelo, when they're talking about, you know, him being a free agent and they're saying that he was in camp, they pretty much had their plan of what they were going to do. You know, you don't just have Canelo in camp and, you know, he doesn't know who his opponent is. They knew who their opponent was going to be, you know. So, you know, that's my thing on that, man. So we're gonna see how that, you know, basically turns out. You know, with, like you said, with Canelo being a free agent, that kind of like nixed the possibility of having, you know, the thing where we mentioned Ryan Garcia against Luke Campbell. You know, we could have had that fight as part of this card, but no, we didn't necessarily have that. So right now, it seems like Julio Cesar Martinez may be part of this card on December 19th. It's going to be the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. So, you know, that's pretty much a pretty quick turnaround because he fought on that card with Chocolatito on it and Estrada on it. So that would be a quick turnaround there for Julio Cesar Martinez, and that would mean he would be fighting 3 times this year. That's pretty good, you know.
That's good. Yeah.
So
You know what's funny though?
Yep.
That you said that the Callum Smith. I called that last year, right after the Kovalev fight. I said Callum Smith is next opponent. That's gonna be his cupcake. I called that shit last year on my channel. I called that shit. I knew exactly who he was gonna be fighting.
Yeah.
And it was right after, and then Ryder lost. Ryder lost to him, but that was debatable.
Right.
And I was like, it's still a good fight. It's a smart business move, but yeah, I seen that too. I seen the same thing that you seen. I was like, he gonna fight Cal Smith. I was like, that's what it's gonna be, because they're gonna try to get that overseas crowd,
Right.
And yeah, I could see it happening. And they was hyping Cal Smith up. He was beating up them welterweights. I was like, his left hook is fantastic. I'm like, that dude's like a junior welterweight, or not a super welterweight.
Yeah, super welterweight, man.
I was like, he's a 154 pounder fighting at 168. That's two divisions, man.
Yeah, they can't work.
That's supposed to look like that. That's what's supposed to work like that against that guy, And he's a long guy too, so it may pose some issue, but I think that Callum Smith belongs at 175, but there's too many killers there. So I think he's starting himself to make 168.
Yeah.
Just my take on it.
True. Now, you have some comments that are, here on the simulcast on YouTube. Someone says that, Canelo would do good business with Eddie. I mean, he had, the fight between Canelo and Jacobs. That was, last year in May. So, I mean, that could be, pretty good. It just, depends on who else he could set him up with. I don't know if he gets past this thing with Callum Smith, that they're going to, have that fight against Billy Joe Saunders. Because remember, that fight could have happened in May of this year, but, that was basically scrapped. But I feel like, these other fighters there at 168, like the Caleb Plants and the David Benavidez, would make for great matches against Canelo Alvarez. You know what I mean? So I think
if there was two on his own, that would have been good too. And that was let me see. That was Bivol. He said he would drop to 168.
Mm-hmm.
So he could have dropped to 160 now, and they still would have been fighting for a 175 title. He didn't fight on that because Bivol he's not that big a name. Right. But then he also had the other zone fighter at 160, who is, what I'm saying? Yeah, how the hell am I forgetting his name? It's me again.
Demetrius Andrade.
Demetrius Andrade. Yeah, I'm like, now he would have moved up too for that fight, I'm pretty sure. So he did have two fighters that he could have fought there, but I don't know, man. I think he had to break away from Golden Boy. And then now he's probably going to re-sign with his own. Or just be a free agent. Who knows?
No, that's the thing. He's a free agent. He's already they made the settlement between the Zone and Golden Boy. So now he's a free agent. So he was able to say, you know what, the Zone, I don't really have that much problems with you. The Zone basically said the same thing. So that's why after the whole settlement went down and they announced the fight, that it was going to be on the Zone. So he's not like saying the Zone is a bad doing business in bad faith. So that just opens the door for him to have other fights on the Zone platform, as long as he's able to take in as much money as he possibly can. So he just would be right. He wasn't signed to the Zone. It was Golden Boy that basically made the deal. So and then it just
was the middleman, and he was like, "Yeah, all that money."
Yeah. That's basically it. So that's how they, that's how they're handling this right now. And so it just depends on how the future is going to be done there for DAZN and Canelo. And I think with DAZN, they could just basically say, you know what, we could do this on a fight by fight basis. So if we have this fight against Callum Smith and it doesn't work out well for us, and we see that other possible matchups that could be made under our platform, if we don't feel like it's going to be a good investment, then we don't necessarily have to work with you, on certain fights or other fights. And it doesn't give them that much financial risk, and they don't have to, put in too much money, there for any of these fights. It's not like they're gonna be spending out $30 to $32 million guaranteed for each fight now. So that is basically out of their hands, because he's had how many fights? 2. That's it. Well, actually 3, because they had the Rocky Fielding fight.
It benefits both of them, because if it don't work either way, they can just part ways. But they know that they can benefit. There's a good possibility they can benefit one another. So that's why they're sticking out from a business aspect. And I get that. And I feel like it was all Golden Boy's issue. Like it was all a Golden Boy issue from the very beginning, because they didn't relate what they were trying to do with the zone, and they were telling Canelo something different. And when Canelo didn't get what he wanted, he checked him.
Mm-hmm. Well,
that's basically what happened.
And then we have a question here through the simulcast on YouTube. Will Canelo work with Al Heyman? Yeah, he could work with Al Heyman. They could do something on Showtime with the fight against, Caleb Plant to start off with, or against David Benavidez. Like those fights, look, you put them on pay-per-view, shoot, they'll make some good money on pay-per-view now. They'll be able to give him a nice enough guarantee so that they could, have something where he gets paid, an initial guarantee, and then, they get, back in. So, but what's happening right now, it is very key that this is happening. With this particular fight against Callum Smith, they're having it in San Antonio, Texas. So if you have fights in Dallas, Texas, and San Antonio, like they could have fans there in the stands right now. We saw that, with the Tank Davis, Leo Santa Cruz card. So with them having a gate over there in San Antonio, they can have about 10,000 or so fans. They're trying to, I think it's going to be 10,000 and 15,000 fans there. So they're going to get them, what those gate receipts that, they could pretty much try to get for this particular fight between Canelo Alvarez and Callum Smith. And after that, it's going to be another, 5 months. Because they want to have, Canelo on Cinco de Mayo weekend, right? So you could have that happen, Cinco de Mayo weekend against, Caleb Plant. I think Caleb Plant will, pretty much be ready by then. So, why not have that fight, happening, on May 1st or May 8th of 2021, So I think that could be a possibility that could happen there. Canelo having a fight against, with Caleb Plant or against David Benavidez or someone along those lines. Or you could have possibly Jamal Charlo move up to 168 and have a fight with Canelo Alvarez. But if Jamal Charlo moves up to 168, I think that he would have a fight with David Benavidez first, since he is the WBC middleweight champion. So that's the thing about it. Let me see. Yeah. More about what was going on with Golden Boy and DAZN, because Canelo didn't know exactly what he could fight. Yeah, that's basically what it is. That is coming from the YouTube thing. Yeah, Canelo didn't know like when he was going to fight or who he was going to fight. Even though like the thing, I just felt like the what broke it was that fight between him and Kovalev, because I don't think he really initially wanted to fight Kovalev at that time. I think he wanted to fight somebody else. It could have been, maybe, what was it? Yeah. He probably could have, wanted to fight like an Andre, because he was at 160. Like he had to fight against Daniel Jacobs. That was 160, pound title fight. Jacobs had the IBF belt. And so he defeated Jacobs, and he probably wanted another, a unification belt at 160 pounds. But they were like, nah, we ain't gonna have that. And then he could have possibly fought, Derevyanchenko, because Derevyanchenko was the mandatory at the time. And so, you had Golden Boy talking about, we'll see if we can make that fight. We'll see if they can make that fight. And they didn't make that fight. And when they didn't make that fight, they said, since you're not making that fight, we're going to strip you of that IBF title. And Canelo was like, what the fuck? So, so they basically did that. And then that's how you ended up having Canelo fighting Kovalev, 2 divisions north. And after that, I think that just basically, did it. And then you saw how that fight got handled, man. Like you had Canelo Alvarez in the dressing room sleeping. Like, come on, man. Like y'all can't have that. Y'all can't have that happening. So yeah, I think that's what basically broke it between Canelo Alvarez and Golden Boy Promotions. And so now with him being a free agent, I think he's going to have more leeway and, more input as to who he's going to be fighting from this point forward. So that's going to be a good look for him. But I've been like on overtime here for this particular podcast for almost about, what has it been? Well, I say almost 45 minutes, and I'm gonna, put a close to this particular episode of the Bicycle Source Radio Show. I thank everyone for calling in. Shout out to 1-2 Kid. Shout out to DT3. Shout out to Matt Brown. Shout out to Jamila YSM Sports Media. Shout out to Mike Grady. Shout out to Terrell. And definitely shout out to Coach Brian BoMac McIntyre for joining us here on this particular podcast. It will be available on iTunes, on Google Podcasts, Spotify, whatever you use for podcasts. Also, it is going to be on iHeartRadio. If you do have iHeartRadio, you listen to iHeartRadio, we do have the podcast on there as well. So you'll be able to check that out here pretty soon. But like I say at the end of every show, folks, the point of boxing is to hit and not get hit, not to stand and trade. On that note, I'm out. Have a good evening, everybody. Peace.